Good morning, and we are getting ready to start Lesson 7. So make sure you have your Lesson 7 packet ready to go, and we'll begin. All right, so let's take a look at some things today. I've got my whiteboard and my marker ready to go, and it looks like I'm getting a little shadow on my board today. Maybe that's been happening a lot and I just haven't noticed. All right, so I am going to give you two different lengths, and you need to decide which one is shorter. Okay, so I'm going to give you, we'll start with 6 centimeters and 10 centimeters. So you're thinking about 6 centimeters compared to 10 centimeters. Which is shorter? Is 10 centimeters shorter than 6 centimeters? Or is 6 centimeters shorter than 10 centimeters? If you said that 6 centimeters is shorter, you are absolutely correct. How can we figure that out? Well, we can do a number sentence to help us. We can say that 10 centimeters take away 6 centimeters gives us 4 centimeters. So 6 centimeters is 4 centimeters shorter than 10 centimeters, or I could say that 10 centimeters is 4 centimeters longer than 6 centimeters. All right, let's try another one. We're going to erase our board and try another one. Let's do 12 centimeters and 22 centimeters. 12 centimeters and 22 centimeters. So we're looking at 12 centimeters and comparing that with 22 centimeters. Which one is smaller? If you said 12 centimeters, congratulations. We can set that up to prove that by taking 22 centimeters, take away 12 centimeters, tells me that 12 centimeters is 10 centimeters shorter than 22 centimeters. So 12 centimeters is 10 centimeters shorter than 22 centimeters, or I could say that 22 centimeters is 10 centimeters longer than 12 centimeters. So we're comparing centimeters. If I add 10 centimeters to 12 centimeters, I would get 22. So I also have a number bond as we start doing subtraction. So let's try 16 centimeters comparing with 20 centimeters. Which one is the smallest unit, or which one has the smallest measure? I hope you said that it would be 16 centimeters, because 20 centimeters take away 16 centimeters gives me 4 centimeters. 16 centimeters is 4 centimeters shorter than 20 centimeters, and 20 centimeters is 4 centimeters longer than 16 centimeters. Okay, should we try another one? Let's try another one. Let's do 9 centimeters and 19 centimeters. 9 centimeters and 19 centimeters. If you said 9 centimeters is shorter than 19 centimeters, that would be correct, because 19 centimeters take away 9 centimeters would give me 10 centimeters. I know that 9 centimeters is 10 centimeters shorter than 19 centimeters, and 19 centimeters would be 10 centimeters longer than 9 centimeters. All right, so now that we're going to start practicing some subtraction skills, we will move on to our next step. Let's take a look at the sprint that we are going to be doing today. So if you'll notice in our sprint, we start off with 3 take away 1, which is 2, and then we move to, I'm going to move this a little closer so you can see this better. So 3 take away 1 would be 2, and 13 take away 1, well, that would be like looking at 3 take away 1 again. 3 take away 1 would be 2, plus 1 group of 10 would give me 12. 23 take away 1 is just like 3 take away 1, except that we have 2 10s, so this would be 22. So I want you to see the relationship between 3 take away 1 and 13 take away 1 and 23 take away 1 and 53 take away 1. Really, it's not that hard because you're thinking 3 1s take away 1 1 would be 2 1s. I have 5 10s and 0 10s, so that would be 51. So I want you to think about that as you get ready to start your sprint. If you are at home, you might want to take a moment to look to see that this group of problems are related to each other. This group of problems are related to each other because of 4 take away 2 is related to 14 take away 2, or 24 take away 2, or 64 take away 2. If you think of it that way, these problems will go very, very easy for you. Remember that you have 1 minute to be able to get through this sprint. Get as far as you can as we begin our subtraction. So let Miss Star get her, let's see, let me get my, okay, have you got your pencil ready? Remember, you're going to work for 1 minute. Ready and begin. Keep working, don't stop. And stop. All right, so how far were you able to get? Remember that you need to mark how far you are getting each time, and then check your answers to see how you are doing. So I'm just a pretend student, but I'm going to say that I got to problem number 20. Now let's just take a quick moment. We're going to look at this and look at how you did with this subtraction page. All right, so here is the key. And for number 1, you should have had 2, 12, 22, 52. 4 take away 2 was 2, 12, 22, 62. 1, 11, 21, 71, 2. 12, 22, 92, 2, 12, 22, oops, sorry about that, 22, 42, 40, and 80. Now you need to be thinking about how far you got. Once you get to where you are, you should stop correcting because you can do the rest of these when you have a little bit of time after we finish the math lesson. But this is an excellent practice. Some of you may have gotten a little bit farther, so I'm going to continue on the second column. 1, 11, 51, 60, 1, 11, 21, 61, 4, 14, 74, 50, 2, 12, 82, 94, 72, 53, 32, 22, 45, and 63. You probably notice that these get harder as we go along, and they do, because the better you get at it, the more difficult problems sets you can do. So let's go ahead. You should tell how many you got on the first one. I got 20, so I'm trying to beat my score of 20 as I get ready to start the next sprint. So we're going over to the next sprint. This is sprint B. I'm going to write 20 at the top of my page because I'm hoping to get a little bit better on the second sprint. Remember, you're only competing against yourself. So get your pencil ready. When the time is up, you need to stop. Ready and begin. Don't stop, keep going. And stop, please. Thank you very much. I hope that you beat your score the second time. I know I did much better. I do take these myself just to see how I can do, and I definitely did better the second time than I did the first time. So let's go ahead and take a look at these. I'm going to put this up here so that you can see all of them. I should have done that on the first one, but I didn't. So we have 1, 11, 21, 51, 3, 13, 23, 63. Are you seeing these patterns? I'm hoping that you are. 1, 11, 21, 81, 3, 13, 23, 93, 1, 11, 21, 41, 20, and 60. And if you didn't get that far, you can always finish these up a little bit later when we get finished with this math lesson. 1, 11, 61, 30, 1, 11, 21, 71, 4, 14, 74, 80, 2, 12, 72, 84, 62, 43, 22, 32, 55, and 73. So make sure that you're checking to see if your score went up. This time I went from 20 to 40, so I did an improvement of 20. Once I started seeing that pattern, it was very easy for me to figure things out from there, but it took me just a minute to figure out those patterns as well. All right, let's go ahead and turn our page over to the next page. Here we go. So now this, I'm going to apologize again. I apologize a lot. I feel like when we're doing math, but sometimes I just don't have time to look ahead too far. And I noticed when we were getting ready to start problem set number 7 that they are recommending, or not recommending, but you need to have a small paper clip. And I don't know if you have one at your house or not. If you don't, you're going to have to watch very carefully as I use my small paper clip, because we are going to be using this small paper clip throughout this lesson and probably subsequent lessons afterwards. Make sure that it is a small paper clip and not a large paper clip. This is pretty much a standard size paper clip compared to a, well, I call them jumbo size. I believe that's what they're called on the box. So you want to make sure that you have a small paper clip compared to a big paper clip. All right, so most of the paper clips that I use in class are the jumbo, so I had to go and find some small paper clips myself. So you will also need to have your ruler. I was very happy that in the last lesson that they actually included, oops, I'm on the wrong side, that they actually included a paper meter stick, which you could use for this lesson. Hopefully you still have that and you didn't get rid of it, because I think we're going to need it for the balance of the next lessons that we do until we get to lesson 10, which will be the last lesson, and then time for an assessment. So our assessment for this module will be on Thursday. So let's see what we've got to do between now and then. So I need to measure each set of lines using one small paper clip, which I have. Using a mark and moving forward. Then we have to measure each set of lines using a centimeter ruler. So I'm always going to give myself a beginning mark and an ending mark, because that helps me to be consistent with where I'm measuring. I'm going to start with the paper clip because I need to know how many paper clips long is line A. So here's my paper clip. Make a little mark, make a little mark, and it's not quite, but it's more than halfway, so I'm going to count that as a full paper clip. So I've got counting 1, 2, and about 3. So it is about 3 paper clips long as compared with centimeters. Are you measuring too? Okay, are you seeing the same thing I'm seeing with 9 centimeters? All right, so 9 centimeters there. I'd like you to try line B by yourself, so pause the video, measure with your paper clips, and then measure, that's this one. Oh, don't get mixed up, my friends. This would be easy. Easy to get mixed up. I'm going to highlight the lines that you need to measure so you can see those a little bit more clearly. I know I had to do that for myself so I could see them a little more clearly, and I knew that that's what I was measuring and that I wasn't actually using that for an answer line. So on the first one, I measured 3 paper clips about and 9 centimeters, pretty close. So you're going to try line B by yourself, and then we'll come back and see what you got. So go ahead, do your measure, just pause the video, and then come back. Are you back? All right. So when you measured this line, did you get the same as I did, which was about 2 paper clips? So about 2 paper clips compared to centimeters, which was about 6 centimeters. Now I want to talk about that for just a minute. Why is there 3 paper clips compared to 9 centimeters? Well, if you think about it, the paper clip is a little bit bigger. In fact, I'm going to actually measure this with you. I've got my ruler here. I'm looking at my paper clip, and my paper clip is about 3 centimeters long compared to a standard centimeter, which is a much smaller unit of measure. The paper clip is a larger unit of measure as compared with a centimeter, which is a smaller unit of measure. That is going to be a very important concept for you as we go through this lesson, understanding that, in fact, we're going to even write that down. The paper clip, if I write it, you should write it, is a larger unit of measure. So the paper clip is longer or a bigger unit of measure as compared with centimeters. Centimeters are a smaller unit of measure. This is a very important concept for you to pick up during this lesson. So the paper clip is a larger unit of measure when compared with a centimeter, which is a smaller unit of measure. Very important. If you didn't write this down, you need to pause the video and get that written and think about the difference between a centimeter and the paper clip. The paper clip is 3 centimeters long, which is a larger unit than a single centimeter, which is this long, a standard centimeter. Everybody knows that a centimeter is always going to be the same size, but as I showed you just a few minutes ago, paper clips, I'm getting a larger paper clip out of my thing, paper clips can be different sizes depending on which one you're using. This one, the one that we're using today, would be a smaller unit of measure than if I was going to use, sometimes that gets messed up. So this paper clip is a smaller unit of measure when compared with the larger paper clip. But when compared with a centimeter is a much smaller measure of unit than is this paper clip. This is larger than a single centimeter. So it matters the unit, the size of the unit that you are using when you are measuring things, which is one of the reasons why we have a standardized measuring system where from ruler to ruler, it wouldn't matter what ruler you were working on, we would be having a standard centimeter always being the same size. All right, so let's continue on with our lesson now as we look at line B is about how many paper clips shorter, there's our key word there, shorter than line A. So I'm looking at my paper clips and my paper clips. Here's line B is about how many paper clips shorter than line A. Well, I can set up a number sentence to help me with that. That would be 3 paper clips take away 2 paper clips would give me 1 paper clip. So line B is about 1 paper clip shorter than line A. So line B is about 1 paper clip shorter than line B, or line B is 1 paper clip shorter than line A, and I can show that by subtracting the 3 paper clips from the 2 paper clips and ending with 1. Now I'd like you to try letter D on yourself. This time we're comparing line A and line B, and we're deciding how much longer is line A than line B. So how much longer is line A compared to line B? Anytime we're comparing things either being longer or shorter, that's a pretty big hint that we need to be using subtraction. So go ahead and try that one, shut the video off, and then we'll come back. Okay, are you back? All right, so if you said, well, line A was 9 centimeters and line B was 6 centimeters, if I'm going to find out how much longer line A is than line B, I'm going to need to subtract. 9 take away 6 is 3. So line A is about 3 centimeters longer than line B. How did I know that? Well, I set up an equation to help me solve that. If you got that right, you are really starting to understand how to do this math. All right, so now on number 2, I would like you to try number 2 without me. You're going to be measuring with paper clips and then measuring with centimeters, both line L and line M. Let's just get a beginning mark and an ending mark, a beginning mark and an ending mark, and I'm going to highlight those lines so that you know exactly what you should be measuring. You're going to be using paper clips and finding out what they are in centimeters. Now, before you pause the video, I want to come down to letter D, okay? Letter D is using the word doubled again. We've been seeing that. We saw that a lot in our lesson from last week, and now we're seeing it again on this lesson. So line M doubled is about how many centimeters shorter than line L. Be very careful when you come down to the last problem, which is letter D. Remember what it means to double something. If I'm going to double something, it's like 2 plus 2. If I was going to double 6, I would be 6 plus 6 equals 12. If I was going to double 4, it would be 4 plus 4 equals 8. Do you remember what it means when you double a number, you add it to itself? So doubling 6 would be 6 plus 6 equals 12. Doubling 4 would be 4 plus 4 equals 8. You will need to remember that as you do problem letter D. So pause the video, work those problems out, and I'll see you in a minute. Pause the video. Okay, are you back? All right, so on line A, did you get about 3 paper clips? Well, where'd my paper clip go? There it is. Here is 3 paper clips when I measure, making a little tick mark. Okay, it's a little tiny bit longer, but pretty close, a little more than half. So that's important. And when I measured with my centimeter ruler, I got 9. Did you? Okay, if you did, congratulations. And about line M, I got 3 centimeters. And how many paper clips did you get for line M? Well, I don't know about you, but I only got 1. It's not too much bigger than just 1 paper clip. In fact, it's almost exact. All right, so line L is about how many paper clips longer than line M. Well, I know that line L, how much was line L in paper clips? Line L in paper clips was 3. line M in paper clips was 1. I like to write that above that so I don't get confused and I can just always remember what I'm working with. Line L in paper clips was 3, and line M in paper clips was 1. Well, if I want to find out how much longer, remember that that means that I should be subtracting. So 3 paper clips take away 1 paper clip leaves me with 2 paper clips. Did you end up with 2 paper clips there? If you did, congratulations. Now I have to think about line M. Remember, line M was about how many centimeters? So I'm looking at line M. Line M was 3 centimeters, but I have to double that. So, oh, wait a minute, I'm not going to do that just yet. I want to look at line L. Line L was 9 centimeters. I'm going to get this problem set up before I try to solve it. So line M was 3 centimeters and line L was 9 centimeters. I have to double 3 centimeters, so that would be 3 plus 3 equals 6 centimeters when I double it. And now I want to find out how much shorter that line that I have doubled is than 9 centimeters. So if I set up the equation, 9 centimeters take away 6 centimeters should give me 3 centimeters. Basic facts that you should know by now. So 3 centimeters, line M is 3 centimeters shorter than line L. Line M is 3 centimeters shorter than line line L. All right, so hopefully you did very well on that. If you had a problem and you need to go back and rework these, please feel free to do that, because sometimes I even have to go back and think about it a second and sometimes even a third time. All right, some of my markers showed through. So now on this one, we're going to draw a line that is 6 centimeters long, and then another line just below it that is 15 centimeters long. Now this is the first time they're actually having us draw some lines ourselves. We're going to label the 6 centimeter line C, and we're going to label the 15 centimeter line D. So that's your next job. I'm going to do it right here, right now. I'm going to do my first line is going to be 6 centimeters. So from here to there. And I'm going to put a beginning mark and an ending mark. And this one should be line C. And you may have to stop the video to do this because I'm doing it kind of fast. And my next line needs to be 15 centimeters. So I'm starting at 0 and I'm drawing to 15. Okay, so I went from 0 to 15. Do you see that? I'm going to put my beginning mark and my ending mark, and I'm supposed to label this as line D. I think I'm also going to put on top that this is 6 centimeters and that this one is 15 centimeters so I don't forget. That just helps me to be a little bit more consistent so that I don't have to keep going back and rereading. So line C, you need to draw 6 centimeters long, and line D, you're drawing 15 centimeters long. If you need to pause the video to get that done, please do that. Okay, are you back? Alrighty, so now that we have those done, we need to measure line C in paper clips and line D in paper clips. So you're going to get your paper clip out and you're going to measure how many paper clips long is line C and how many paper clips long is line D. So pause the video, take care of that. Okay, are you back? Well, I got 2 paper clips long for line C, and I got 9 paper clips long for line D. All right, so hopefully you have those correct now. If not, you might want to go back and double check your work. Now we're going to use this information to solve these next 4 problems. Line D is about how many centimeters longer than line C. Remember, you need to set up an equation to do that. And line C is about how many paper clips shorter than line D. This one you're using centimeters. This one you're looking at paper clips. Now moving down to D, line C and D together, an important key word that tells me that I'm going to need to add. The word together means I'm going to be adding. So C and D lines together are about how many paper clips? We're talking paper clips on this one. And C and D together is about how many centimeters long. So shut the video off and you are going to do those 4 problems, and then we'll see how you did when we get back. Pause the video. And are you back? Okay, here we go. So line D, did you get 9? Line D is about 9 centimeters longer than line C. So I said 15 centimeters, take away 6 centimeters. 15 centimeters take away 6 centimeters gave me 9 centimeters. All right, because line D was 15 centimeters and line C was 6 centimeters. So I used that to help me set up my equation. Now we're looking at paper clips this time. Line C in paper clips was 2 and line D in paper clips was 9. So when I look at that, I am going to be, okay, I'm coming back and I just noticed that I had a boo-boo. It was probably been a really good idea if I would have measured this with you. I had the wrong number for my paper clips, and you probably are going, Miss Star, you have the wrong number for paper clips, and you're right, I totally did. Yeah, when I started looking at that problem, I go, you are not going to do this right. 1 paper clip, 2 paper clips, 3 paper clips, 4 paper clips, and about 5 paper clips. I had 9 there, and I apologize for that. That was my bad. So it worked well on this problem, but when I started looking at the next one, I go, this is not going to work out correctly. So I had to pause the video myself and fix my own boo-boo. You'll forgive me for that. So now, hopefully I have things right now that I have the right number of paper clips. So I should have measured with you, and I didn't because I was trying to maybe make this video not quite so long. Anyway, so line C in paper clips was about 2, and line D in paper clips was 5 and not 9. So about how many paper clips shorter is line C than line D? So 5 paper clips take away 2 paper clips would give me 3 paper clips. That is much better, Miss Star. And I'm sorry if I confused some of you with the fact that I did that wrong. Miss Star usually, well, I do work them all out before I ever start trying to videotape this, and I just looked in the wrong place, and I should have done the measuring with you instead of skipping ahead. All right, so now we're going to look at line C, and we're talking about paper clips. Line C for paper clips was 2, and line D for paper clips was 5. So we have 5 and 2. If I add 2 plus 5, that gives me 7 paper clips long all together. So there's my equation. 2 paper clips plus 5 paper clips gives me 7. Now we're going to do the same thing with centimeters. Remember, our centimeters for line C was 6, and our centimeters for line D was 15. So I am going to need to set up an equation. 15 plus 6 equals 21. 21. So if you needed to, you could break that apart, or if you're beginning to see that 5 plus 6 is 11, which gives me one more 10, 1 1 and 2 10s, then you can do it that way too if you want to, but if you need to, you can still break it apart and make it easier for you to do it that way. All right, so now let's come down to Christina, who's now using as her unit of measure a quarter. So Christina measured line F, this one right here. Line F, here's her beginning point and her ending point. She measured it using quarters, so she now has a different unit of measure. Then she also measured that same line with pennies. So now notice that my unit of measure has changed in size. Quarters are a much larger unit of measure than pennies. Pennies are smaller, quarters are a little bit bigger. So I'm just going to look at that. A quarter is about 2 centimeters, and a penny is just a little over maybe 1.5 centimeters. So this is definitely a smaller unit of measure This one is a larger unit of measure. The pennies are a smaller unit of measure. So we're not using paper clips. Now we're using pennies and quarters. All right, so let's see. She had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, they're telling us line F is about 6 quarters long. Well, I'd agree with that because I just counted it. And line G is about 8 pennies long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Christina said that line G is longer, okay, because 8 is bigger than 6. The question is Christina incorrect? So do you think, yes, she's right, that line G is longer than line F? If you think that that is true, well, then she's probably correct. But can you explain why she is not correct? So you're going to write a sentence that says, she is not correct because. So I'll get you started. She is not correct because. Oops, I'm sorry, I didn't have that up high enough for you. So you're going to pause the video and explain why she is not correct. Remember what we talked about as far as the quarters being a larger unit of measure and the pennies being a smaller unit of measure. All right, pause the video. Are you back? So she is not correct because the quarter, something like this, it doesn't have to be exactly what I write, but the quarter is a bigger or larger unit of measure. The quarter is a larger unit of measure. The penny is a smaller unit of measure. What do you notice about those lines? Even though the quarter is bigger and the penny is smaller, aren't they the same size? They are the same length. Sometimes they don't give us enough room to write. Oops, I'm sorry. They are the same length, even though it takes more pennies to measure that same length than it does quarters. Why? Because the quarter is a larger unit of measure. And I'm going to remind you that this is the very important concept that you need to be picking up as we go through this. You will need that for the exit ticket. All right, let's flip over and take a look at our homework pages. So we're going to be doing similar things that we just did on our practice pages as we work on our homework pages before we do the exit ticket. So we're going to use a centimeter ruler and paper clips. Please remember that it's going to be that smaller paper clip to compare the lengths of 1 and 2. So you're going to try this page on your own. Be careful when you get down to letter D at the bottom. This one is doubled. So you are going to try this page on your own. When you're finished, you're going to come back and we will see how you did. So pause the video. Okay, are you back? Alrighty, I hope you paid attention to what you were supposed to be measuring. Here we go. There we go. So that's what we're measuring. And we started off by paper clips should have been 3 and centimeters should have been 9. So if we doubled the measure, if line Z was doubled, about how many paper clips would that be? So if we're talking about paper clips and we doubled that, that would be 3 plus 3 equals 6. So that would be 6 paper clips. And if we doubled the centimeters, that would be 9 plus 9 equals 18. How did you do? Okay, let's keep going. So line A in paper clips was 5, and line B in paper clips was 15 centimeters. Wait a minute. Oh, line A, sorry. Line A was 15 centimeters in 15 centimeters in centimeters. Boy, getting a little tongue-tied here. So 5 paper clips compared to 15 centimeters. And line B was 2 paper clips compared to 6 centimeters. Now, if you're not getting these right, you need to go back and you need to remeasure. That's part of your job if you're having a difficult time. Line A is about 4 centimeters longer than line B because your equation, 6 take away 4, 2 equals 4. And when we double, we are going to double line B, which was 5. Line B, we're going to line B. All right, so continuing. So on letter C, you should have said that line A, we're looking at paper clips this time. So line A was 5 paper clips and line B was 2 paper clips. So 5 paper clips take away 2 paper clips gives me 3 paper clips, which is what you should have had for C. And line B, we're talking about centimeters this time. Line B was 6 centimeters and line A was 15 centimeters. So I have to double my line B, which would be 6 plus 6 is 12, and then I am going to think about the fact that 15, which was line A, take away 12, which was doubled, line B would give me 3 centimeters. All right, so hopefully that went really well for you, and we are going to go to the next page. So here we go with the next page. And I would like you to try this page all on your own, and when you are finished, we will look at it together. All right, I'll see you in a few minutes. Are you back? Okay, so you needed to draw a line that was 9 centimeters for line F and a line that was 12 centimeters for line G. So then you had to label these as F and G, and then you had to measure with paper clips. If you measured with paper clips, and whoops, there's my paper clip. Here goes line G was, let's see, paper clips for line F was about 1, 2, 3, and line F or line G in paper clips was about 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so line G is about 3 paper clips longer than line F. Hopefully you got that. That would be 12 paper clips. Take away 9 would give me 3 for my number equation. You should have had 1 for line C, and for D you should have had 7, and for F and G combined together would be about 21. All right, how did you do down on the paper clips? So Jordan measured the length of a line for large paper clips, and his friend measured the same line with small paper clips. About how many paper clips did Jordan use? Well, he used 1, 2, 3, 4 for the large paper clips, and his friend used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 paper clips. So your job was to explain why did Jordan's friend need more paper clips to measure the same line as Jordan. Jordan's friend, hopefully you thought about the fact that these paper clips are a larger unit. That's why it takes less of those, and these are a smaller unit. Okay, and that's why it takes more of those. So Jordan's friend needed more paper clips because his paper clip was a smaller, I'm going to add to that, was a smaller unit of measure. There we go. Alrighty, so now let's go ahead and go to our exit ticket. Oh, got to get to the right page here. Here I am on my exit ticket. Absolutely be sure that you put your name on your exit ticket, my friends, and your last initial and the date that you did this. So you are going to solve these problems doing what it's asking. Measure the lines with a small paper clip and then with a centimeter ruler, just what we've been doing in the lesson. And then you are going to remember to do a beginning mark and an ending mark. That will be very helpful. And if I were you, I would make sure that I put how many centimeters each one of these are, or well, I guess you've got it right here. So how many paper clips and how many centimeters for line 1, how many paper clips and centimeters for line 2, and how many paper clips and centimeters for line 3. And then you have to explain why each measure requires more centimeters than paper clips. Okay, so why does it require more centimeters than paper clips? And you need to send this to your teacher. Send to your teacher. That would be a picture. Okay, some of you are very consistently sending your picture to your teacher, and some of you are not doing it at all. It's very difficult for us to give you a grade in math when you're not sending us a picture of your exit ticket. We don't have any other way of knowing how you are doing. So make sure you send to your teacher. We need to see it. Okay, that's all for today, and thank you.